What's the latest on Aaron Rodgers? We saw him talk to Brandon Marshall over the weekend at his flag football deal in Southern California. He said, stay tuned, and a decision is going to come pretty soon here. My guess is that we get something at the start of the new league year at the latest. Maybe something comes today. Do you think that we are getting closer to a decision with Rodgers finally committing to the New York Jets, or could he throw us another curveball because you never know what to expect with that guy?
I kind of get the sense that, as we said 2 weeks ago, we think he's playing. I think this is a lot about recruiting, a lot about the contract. We saw Mark Murphy's commentary about he wants to make it happen, which I feel bad for Gutekunst, the GM up there, because he's kind of like he took away any leverage that he would have. I mean, one of the things that you want to do in a trade is say, hey, look, we'll just make him play for us, or he'll retire and give us back. You have to have some strength in a negotiation. And Murph just could give a shit. He just, we're moving on. Like, okay, Murph, thank you. We all know the world revolves around you up there. So, it makes it harder on him to do it. But I mean, would you be shocked? I mean, to me, the stunning news wouldn't be that he went to the Jets. The stunning news would be that he's not playing. I mean, I think it's all done. I think it's all about the contract. I think that's the final piece. I don't think Woody's going to fly across the country to convince him to play. Like, if you got to convince a guy to play, do you really want to trade for him? Like, that's never been a good thing. There has to be that love to play. There has to be that feel, I want all in. Now, you got to have time. I understand that, but that competitive juice has got to fly.
Now, my takeaway from Mark Murphy's comments about how he was speaking about Rodgers in past tense, pretty much acting like he wasn't on the team anymore, even though he's still technically on the team. My takeaway from that was kind of what we talked about last week, was that, hey, maybe the compensation, the trade package is already done, and we're just waiting for Rodgers and the Jets to figure out the contract. It almost feels like, all right, the negotiating side of this between the Jets and the Packers is over, and now it's the negotiating side between the Jets and Rodgers.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's dead on right. I think there's no doubt. I think, to me, that's the conversation. Is they know, and maybe that's why Murph was so forthcoming and letting him go, because he already knew the compensation was in play, that they didn't have to do any more work on that. So for me, I would say that's probably right. And so that would move on. I mean, like, okay, he goes to the Jets, and what does that mean? I mean, you got Hackett there. They're comfortable with the offense. I mean, now we'll see where it goes with the Jets, and we'll see what it costs. I get the sense that maybe they got to give up their 2 and maybe something else, but I thought it was going to be. I know they wanted a 1 originally, but they probably couldn't get it because there's really who are the Jets competing against? I mean, let me ask you that.
Nobody, it seems like, because we've seen these other teams kind of move on towards the draft class, and Carolina getting that number 1 pick. We'll touch on that a little bit later. The Raiders haven't really shown any sort of interest of going gung-ho towards Aaron Rodgers. So I don't really see the destination.
I don't think that. I don't get that sense. I mean, I think the Raiders are looking for a long-term solution. I think they're looking for a short-term and a long-term solution. I think that's really what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody to say, okay, we need to get this guy for the short term. We'll need to get that guy in the draft for the long term, and go from there.
You have a prediction on when this Rodgers thing will become finalized? Do you think it's today? Is it tomorrow morning?
I think it's got it. I mean, to me, you have to have it today so that you can know what his cap number is, and then you can plan accordingly around the team. I'm sure he's got demand. Look, I want this. I want to sign this receiver too. Like, I'm not surprised he's not trying to play general manager either. Like, don't just think he's coming and saying, oh, guys, whatever you want to do, I'm all happy for it. No, I'm sure he's got things he wants, because he wants to feel comfortable. And if you're Joe Douglas, you want to make him comfortable. You want to make him feel like, okay, he's all in on this.
So what I'm hearing is that Randall Cobb is going to be on the New York Jets.
It could be a good choice. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. We got rid of Barrios, so we'll bring back Randall Cobb.
Yeah, Randall Cobb, 2 best buddies, Aaron Rodgers and Randall Cobb up in Gang Green. But yeah, I think this thing is going to be Rodgers with the Jets. And like you said, maybe he's kind of not really holding the Jets hostage, but is saying, all right, I'm coming, but make sure you get these things done, and then we'll kind of do this thing all together. So it could be a wave of acquisitions for the Jets at the start of the Tampa.
Wave, but I would think there's going to be some things he wants, and Hackett knows him well enough to know what he likes and, what he doesn't want. Like, he doesn't want to turn his back to the line. There's certain things offensively, scheme-wise, that he wants too. Like, he wants to be able, and then terminology. Look, The one thing is he, with Hackett there, he doesn't have to learn a new language. He can just say, we're going to learn. It's the same language as Green Bay, so it's the same system.
Thanks for watching the GM Shuffle with Michael Lombardi. And for more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to VSiN Live and the GM Shuffle podcast with Michael Lombardi, presented by DraftKings and VSiN, wherever you get your podcasts.